All right, guys. What's up? I'll give you some hints, but these aren't the answers yet. You got to do the answers yourself. Okay, for number one, you know that these are this is the 10th spot, this is the 100th spot, this is the 1,000th spot. So that's just 439 1,000ths. That's the answer. All right. For each of these, you start with that, and you have to make some adjustment. All right, this one, the line goes all the way over. So hopefully you just subtract 1 from the bottom. So 1,000 minus 1. Oops, 1,000 minus 1. For this one, hopefully that whenever the line isn't covering something, what you do. For this one, there's the 10 spot, there's the 100 spot, there's this 1,000 spot. It's not covering this. So hopefully you know what you do. Reduce these. If you ever get a fraction that has 450 over 600. They're both even. Now this one I know 10 or 50 goes in, but if they're both even, you got to just cut them in half. 225, 300. They're still, I can see 5 goes into both of them. And I keep dividing until I get down to my my most reduced fraction. So good luck there. All right, for these, do not use a calculator. For this one, I don't know 27, but I do know 25, and I know 36. So I know 27 is pretty close to that side. Not directly on it, but pretty close, so I should be able to estimate it. 17, I don't know it, but I know 16, so I should know a pretty good guess to the nearest tenth. That's 1 decimal. What 17 is, and then I just multiply by 3. 30.5. Don't be thrown off by this. I'm going to estimate it. I don't know what 30.5 is, but I know the square root of 25 and I know the square root of 36. Where is 30.5? Let's see. How far is it from there? How far is it? Oh, it's 5.5 from there. It's 5.5 from there. Oh, it's directly in the middle. So you should know it's in exactly the middle. So it's something 0.5. And then once you get that answer, just multiply it by 2. Number 3, these should be easy. Just get your y equals, tell me the slope, tell me the y-intercept. Number 4, scratching my back. Number 4, okay, whenever we're gonna do substitution, we're looking for one sentence like this that tells us anytime we see a y, we can plug in 1/2 x minus 1. So down here, I see a y, I can plug in 1/2 x minus 1. So if you're still struggling on these, 4x minus 6, and I'm going to take out the y, I'm going to plug in 1/2 x minus 1 equals 14. So I'm going to do this -6. This is tough. -6 times 1/2. What's 1/2 of -6? And that's how many x's we have. And then 1/2 times -6 times -1. All right, so I'll do one more step for you. So 4x, -6 times 1/2 is -3x. -6 times -1 is +6 equals 14. You're going to figure out what your x equals there. And once you figure it out, you have to go all the way back over here and plug it in and figure out what your y is. All right, number 5. I need one of these columns to cancel each other out. 2s and 3s don't cancel each other out in this row very well. But 3s and 6s, I know one of those will cancel each other out, and the 3's already negative, so we can have, if we just make this one twice as big, everything in this row twice as big. So instead of 2x's, we have 4x's. Instead of -3, we have -6y's. Instead of 18, we have 36, and the other row we leave perfectly the same. 3x plus 6y equals 6. And then we combine them. We have +4 and +3. We have 7 x's. -6y and 6y, they're gone exactly like we want. And 36 and 6 is 42. We should know what the x's are. Then we have to go back and plug it into one of these equations. Maybe I think that's the easiest one to plug it back into and figure out what y is. Okay, number 6. These equations, remember, anytime you see an XY chart, we have to say, okay, this goes down 6, this goes up 3. Down 6, up 3. So now I know down 6 over 3 is the slope is -2. So y equals -2x. We're almost done. Now in this one, I could take my x and multiply it by -2. So now I have -6, but I'm shooting for +6, so I have to add 12 on. Or I just look for the y-intercept. There's the y-intercept right there. 0, 12, that's the y-intercept, so I know it's +12. Either way, I was gonna have to add 12 at the end. These two don't have the y-intercept in there. They don't tell you the 0, something. So once you get the slope, you're gonna have to, like over here, I knew the slope was -2, so I take my x, I multiply it by -2. 0 times -2 is just 0, but I'm shooting for 12, so I have to add 12. So see if you can do that over here. You have to find the slope first, and then multiply your x by that to see if what you still need to add on. All right, are these points on the line? The points are on the line if you can plug them in and they work. So let's see. If I do, well, I know this one's on the line because that's the y-intercept for -7. But let's see. I'm supposed to take my x and multiply it by 2. So if I take my x and multiply it by 2, 0 times 2 is still 0. And then I'm supposed to subtract 7. So then -7 is -7. Yeah, it works. So this point would be on the line. Do the other 3. Rational or irrational, hopefully you remember that rational means fractional. Can you turn them into fractions using normal numbers? Let's see if you, yes or no. Not what are the solutions, but how many solutions do these have? It's either going to be one solution, no solution, or infinite solution. One solution is a normal problem. No solution is when the x's cancel out, but like then you're left with like 7 equals -8, and you're like, wait, that never works. Infinite solutions are when the x's cancel out and you have like 2 equals 2, and you're like, oh, that's always true. All right, for some of these, for number 10, if you find the area of a circle, and now I know pi r squared, so I'm going to use, for this one, I'm going to use radius is 2. So pi times 2 squared equals 4 pi. If I want to go through and multiply by 3.14, I can do that also. So if you need a radius, use 2. If you need a height, use 6 for these. So do a cylinder, a cone, a sphere, and a hemisphere. And then finally, this one. Last year's performance task kind of looked like this. The black box is a square, which means it has the same side. So if one side's 12, the other side's 12. So figure out how big, so the whole thing is 12 by 12, 12 by 12. So the whole thing is 144, because, right, length times width. 144 is units squared, is how much is in the whole shape. Now it says the red boxes are squares too. How can you figure out, if you know that's 2, we know all the way across is 12, and right here is 2. We know these boxes are squares. All the reds are squares and they're the same size, so this missing spot right here is the same missing spot as right there. What is missing from those two spots? And if those red things are squares, you know that once you figure out that, you know that, you know all the squares. So now you know how much red space there is. So if we subtract the red space from 144, we're left with the leftover blue space. So figure out if you can figure out how much red space there is, how much blue space there is. Good luck. Turn it in when you're done.